everyone, welcome back to our channel. We are Similarly Opposites The Podcast. My name is Sakina.
And my name is Riza Astrid.
And together we form Similarly Opposites. We meet every week, we have a chat, we invite you in. And people seem to really enjoy the last week's episode. So if you didn't watch that, I suggest you go watch this after this. I haven't spoken to Riza in what feels like forever. So I want to know, Riza, how are you? How are you really?
Well, last week's episode was one of my favorite episodes that we've ever done. I don't know why. It was such a good chat. And it was nice just to see the way we see things in a different way and just talk about our lived experiences. I don't know. I genuinely liked last week's chat. I watched it over and over again and I listened to what we were saying. I was like, wow, this is a good chat. And we chatted for 30 minutes. So it was pretty short. So it was nice. But at the end of last week's chat, you said that I would actually be flying and that I would be in another country. Well, today is the 18th of November and I am still in South Africa, in my house, in my room. I did not go anywhere. I went for a COVID test and it came back positive. So I couldn't fly to my parents. I'm now currently in my house. I'm in, what do you call it? Isolation.
Isolation.
And I'm here they say you should isolate for 10 days. I haven't shown any symptoms or anything, so that's good. And I'm taking my vitamins and I'm eating regularly and I'm exercising as much as I can and just taking it easy and relaxing. So that's how I've been feeling. I've been feeling very down. I've cried a lot in the shower and in the bath, but that's a regular thing. That's nothing new. But yeah, that's how I've been just, today's Wednesday. It's been almost a week, 5 days since I took the test, so 10 days almost done. How are you doing?
Better than you, apparently. So it sounds super hectic. Oh my word. There's so much to talk about off screen about how you are, but that's horrendous. Now that you verbalize it in one sentence, one ongoing sentence.
Not that bad.
Sure. No, let's not talk about it too much because it's emotional. And I've been good, hot. So hot, I'm getting so warm. But I'm good. I am a crazy woman and I don't know how to stop working as usual. And I prepared all my lessons for next year for one of my subjects.
Whoa, overachiever, well done.
So essentially I'm teaching a subject that has no curriculum. So I have to make a curriculum. So I've just been planning, roughly, I say roughly planning. I know what I'm doing every week. So I've been roughly planning what I'm doing every week next year for one of the subjects because I'm very scared about next year because next year I'm studying again. We both are studying next year. Amazing. Again, the students. So that's exciting on my front. Yeah. I haven't been on the internet much, but I have been on the internet talking about current affairs. If you did not know, now you know. There was an earthquake in Cape Town about 2 nights ago at 12:30. It's a little earth tremor that happened off the coast of the west coast of Cape Town, so close to Saldanha Bay. My brother felt it. I slept through it. It's my brother felt the house shaking. Stuff fell, so we have this outside house thing, and the stuff fell actually in that room because of the earthquake. And my friend was in her bed, and her bed shifted across the room as it was shaking. So it's a bit scary.
Insane.
I slept through it. I can literally sleep through an earthquake, as they say. So yeah. Did you even feel it? No, because I asked you, are you okay?
I went to bed early that night, 9 or something. And I slept right through it. I woke up the next morning. My dad had messaged me at 4 in the morning because obviously it's 6 by him. And he's like, are you okay? There was an earthquake. And I was like, oh. And then you messaged me and you're like, did you feel that? Or something like that. I was like, what are you talking about? But I just wanted to know what you were talking about because you could have literally been talking about anything. Because you messaged me.
No, I said, are you okay? Question mark.
Yeah. And I was like, well, under these circumstances, I am still okay. So I didn't feel any
What else?
at all.
Like, what else can life throw at us? Actually, at this point, I'm not tempting you, life.
I don't want to say that out loud. I'm not even saying things like that because after last week, I've realized that I've always lived by woorde dra krag, words carry power. And after last week, I was like, Riza, you haven't been following your own life motto.
Because you were always like, well, there's always been a doubt that I'll go. And I was like, okay.
After that, I am just watching what I say. I'm saying it in my head. And yeah, so I don't even want to give 2020 another opportunity to flip it over. Like, I've had enough. There's 2 more months left. Let's just get over
That's all we need.
2 months. And
not even 2 months, it's like a month and a week.
No, it's like proper a month and 2 weeks, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah. So onwards and upwards. That's what I always say. Onwards and upwards, because there's nowhere else to go. We've hit rock bottom. Oh my gosh. And then talking about like funny things in life today with us. The thing I saw on the internet this week. Love that segue. The thing I saw on the internet this week, and I saw you liked my comment on the video on TikTok. There's this girl that's like this allergic reaction to something, and everything swelled up. It sounds weird. But everything was just swollen, and her lips were the size of fingers, and her eyes got shut. I don't know the word of past is a swelled. My eyes were swelled shut, and I was like, I can definitely relate. I don't know if you remember, everyone. No one knows the story.
I remember that.
But I also got allergic reaction or something. I don't know. Something happened to my lip, and my lip. My lip literally blew up. It was like a pillow. I thought it was going to pop at one point. Like, you know, all the creases in your lip, like mine were, stretched out and flat. And it was cushions. I had cushions for lips.
So bad. It was so bad.
And I had no medication. And I went to class. I just tucked my lip in. And it looked like I was coughing.
No one noticed or said anything. Because I saw you in the evening. And I was starting to come down. And I was still like, what the actual heck is wrong with your lip?
It's because, like, I can't tuck my lip in.
You don't have any upper lip. So how do people not
know?
And suddenly you have an upper lip? Those people are not your real friends. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Clearly, no one said anything. But I also still want to get Botox. So I want to get lip fillers, as I mentioned.
I don't know how it's going to look on you. I can't imagine.
I don't care.
But do it.
What?
Do it. You can do whatever you want.
I'll do it because it's whatever, and it dissolves, and I want it because I just want to see. Like, if you don't do it, I'll always be curious. You know what I mean? So I'd rather just do it. Me, not encouraging anyone to take drugs. Sounds like I'm like a drug addict. I'm just curious. Just want to experiment a little bit with my face. So I think it'll be a good thing for me. I just need to get facial. Yeah, but that's the thing I saw on the internet that cracked me up. Right on cracked me up because I was like, I related this so hard. Yeah, so did you see anything on your scrolly?
I didn't see anything much. I did see one thing that said something like, I remember back in 2016 when I said I'm tired of this year, I can't wait till 2020, something like that. One of those like jokes. And I always think about 2016 now, how 2016 was such a terrible year for everyone else except for me, because I love 2016. I think 2016 was a good year, but whenever people talk about 2016, they're always like, that was the worst year of my life.
We were definitely in our peak in 2016.
We were in our peak. We were so happy. Things were going so well.
We looked good, we felt good, we were thriving at life. Like we were
my final
so good.
Year was your first year.
Yeah.
We
went overseas with Madagascar. Like it was a good year.
But yeah, so I thought of that and it made me chuckle because obviously we know how 2020 has been, and it's just funny for us to say like back when we were in 2016, oh, this year is gonna be better, because we always say next year is gonna be better, but we legit don't know what next year is gonna be.
But
like.
we also, I think, had such high hopes for 2020. Like everyone was
As
like,
a collective, we were too excited. We put too many eggs in this basket.
Did you see that other TikTok where God is talking to an angel? And it says, have you scheduled all the events for the 2020s? So she's like, yes, for 2020. He's like, no, for the 2020s.
Is it
like,
the
you're
same
supposed to
goal?
spread this out.
Is it the same goal with the meteor?
That's so funny. Oh my gosh, literally all the life events ever is in this year. So that's hilarious. I love memes. I love TikTok. I love everything. And I don't understand how people can't have social media. Like, I understand why you wouldn't want social media, but even if you have something just to like follow other people's meme pages, it's a joy. It brings so much comedy in my life. Like, yeah, so don't fully trust anyone that doesn't have any social media. So
it's just
weird. That. Yeah, it's strange. But I'm going to talk about this week's topic that I told you, I hinted at. I don't know if you prepared anything. I didn't. I just wanted to talk about it. And I saw something about like the concept of home on Facebook or something. Like, how do we define home? Is it a person? Is it a place? Is it a feeling? Is it a place you can never return to? Like, what is home? And I thought like we should just explore that as like a figurative analogy, but also as like literally like where are our homes when we travel, and what, because we traveled and we lived in a lot of like different types of homes, and I thought it would be a cool discussion. So like, let's start by asking you, like, how do you define home?
Home is such a strange concept to me because just of like being born in South Africa, then moving to the US, living there for a big chunk of my life, and then moving back to South Africa with my parents, then moving to Abu Dhabi, and then me living here, them living there. And I think a lot of times when people think of home, they think obviously of their families, and they think of like cousins and relatives and grandparents and stuff. So for me, it's very different to define what's home. Even when people say like, where are you from? Like, I can't just say I'm from Stellenbosch, because then they ask me things about Stellenbosch. I'm like, no. And then I can't just say I'm from the US, because then they're like, have that questions there. I can't say I'm from Abu Dhabi, because I don't think Abu Dhabi is home in a sense of like hometown, but I do see Abu Dhabi as home because my parents are there, and because I do feel a sense of home when I'm there. I have a room there, you know, I have my favorite shops, I know people there, And so for me, home is in many senses wherever my family is, but also wherever I am, because I've also made a home without my family. For example, here in Somerset West, I've lived here alone majority of the time, and this is home. But when I go to my Aunt Evie, for example, that also feels so much like home because I lived with her for 2 years. And then I go to like Abu Dhabi, and that feels like home. When I went to the US in 2016, I think I went to the US as well. That was so much like home because it felt like I was like, I know this. This feels
familiar.
Yeah. And then when I go to Wellington, there is that big sense of this is home as well, and I feel like comfortable because I know where things are. So for me, it's a different concept, and it's very strange. But it's like I realized that you can make a home wherever you are. So I think for me, home is wherever I am and wherever I plant roots and feel at peace and feel a sense of familiarity, where I start knowing how to get to places or come back home, and like a home base in a sense. How about you? How do you see that?
Well, we have very obviously like different experiences in terms of growing up, of like being in the same place. I was in the same house for 13 years, and then I'm currently in this house for the like last 13 years. Didn't realize it until now. And home is home, like, like I meant like the physical structure. But for me, I think home for me has a lot to do with comfort.
Mm-hmm.
So like home is like where I'm comfortable, where I'm free to be me. There's no false pretenses. I'm comfortable to kind of just be me, and I think that's where I like it. So like even you extend it to like home is where like your extended family is. Like I don't necessarily think that. I think home is definitely where like my immediate family is, like where my parents are, my siblings are. But home, I think it's difficult for me as well because I don't spend a lot of time at home, and I never did, even growing up. Like that sounds a bit weird, but like majority of my friends' homes are my home because I spend so much time at my friends' houses. I literally have like your house address saved on my like delivery app as the second home, like my second home. Like so, like I think home is where you're comfortable, and like no hate to anyone listening, but like some family members' homes are more homey than others. Like I know I can go there. I define home as the places you can go at 2 a.m. when you're in this difficult situation and you can just open the door and feel welcomed. That's how I define home. It's kind of weird. So like, yeah. So it's like it's a lot about comfort. And I'm free to like express myself and like get my needs met, whatever that may be. So yeah, weird. It's like the concept about like parents, like obviously your parents are your parents, like biological parents, but like some people in your life just like love you as parents and you love them as parents, even though they're not your parent, like your physical biological parent. Like I know you've had a lot of like moms because you have like a million aunties and they then are your mom when your mom's not around, I guess. Not like literally, but like they fill that like figurative sense of the word. And like that's why like on Mother's Day I'll message my friends' parents as well, be like, hi, happy Mother's Day, thanks for everything, whatever. Interesting. Yeah, didn't know it's going to go that turn. So do you wanna talk? Okay, I'll start because it's different from you and I. But the homes that we've lived in back country, so I went to Abu Dhabi, which is Visa's house, again home, and that home setup was very much like, you're in our home, all your needs will be met. Welcome, come join. And also I was like there for an extended period of time, so it was like very much like this is home, and it was very comfortable, and literally, like I said, all your needs were met. So that was nice. Obviously it was different for you because it literally is your home. But I don't know if I want to talk about like where we've lived in Madagascar, or whatever, like our next countries.
So in Madagascar, because we were on a mission, we stayed in a hostel, or not a hostel. We stayed in what was it?
An abandoned retirement home.
Yes.
Village.
Abandoned retirement home, which gave major hostel vibes, just the way it was. Like you would walk into like a really fancy entryway and there would be like the staircase, and then you go up the staircase and then there would be lots of like smaller rooms, and everyone, because there wasn't that many like accommodation readily available options, we everyone was sleeping like 3 to 5 people in a room each, and so we were very nervous because like, are we gonna be in the same room or not? And then we ended up in the same room, just the two of us. We had our own room with 3 beds in a corner, a little bit of a corner, and it was bliss. It was so nice. It was so comfortable. We put our big suitcases on the one bed and we each had our own bed. And yeah, it just felt like we had never lived in a room together before that. Like obviously we've stayed in the same room and we've shared a bed, but we've never had to like, there was always other people around us who knew us and who we could have conversation with, whereas this was literally, we didn't know anyone else on this mission. So we had to meet other people to become friends with them. But that room...
Yeah, but also like that room situation was interesting. Like I think that was the setup in the retirement village. Like that's how they were.
Probably.
Yeah, it wasn't like just put there because we were there. But also the thing is, I think we didn't know what to expect. So for us, like to have a bed, I was like lux. We were like, wow, this is good. Yeah, and like the beds and the mattresses were wafer thin, some of them, and like you could feel like the springs of the bed like coming through some of the beds, like
would
cool,
move,
whatever. Like
and it would also like make a noise. It was so frustrating.
yeah, so you just like make do with what you had, and like there was like all the rooms came out into like a communal dining room situation,
and there was a communal bathroom.
I was gonna say, yeah, there's like 2 showers for like 30 people on the floor.
Ridiculous.
And we had to shower in shifts. It was interesting because we all had to kind of get out of the like hotel thing at the same time. So
and also
wake up early enough.
Yeah, they hadn't had people, that many people in the retirement village for so long that the geyser broke, or like the geyser just wouldn't heat up after cinema time. So people would go shower for a really long time, and then you would want to go shower, and then the water's like ice cold. And so a lot of people got really annoyed with that. And then the one time we realized that there was actually like a 3rd floor in this house, in this retirement, and we found out that on the 3rd floor, though, it was very like scary, creepy, because it was like the play area kind of. It was like in the attic. There was bathrooms and showers there, and so we're like, we need to go there and shower there because at least the water will be warm and no one will like rush us or bother us. So I remember like that was like towards the end of the mission, we started showering up there. But yeah, it was an experience, eh?
I definitely forgot about the top floor. Like I felt
like I was
in my brain.
Like university rates. Like it felt like I was at university.
Yeah.
For the amount of people.
Not that I've ever been, but yeah.
Exactly, had to live in one, but because of Simone and like her university experience of living in a hostel, I could like feel that. So yeah, so Madagascar was interesting. After Madagascar, we went to Azerbaijan, and we stayed in a hostel. Tell us a bit about that, Sakina.
Oh, girl, let's talk about home in the hostel. Okay, so hostels are kind of like iffy and picky, and like I'm very particular about what I need in a hostel. But it was the cheapest option. It was very cheap, like ridiculously cheap. And the hostel situation was, on the whole, a very positive experience. But I think it's because of like the customer service that came with the hostel. That was a very positive experience for us. And so we come into a room and there's bunk beds, and the beds are numbered, and we have a girl dorm and a boy dorm. And now obviously we're 2 girls and 1 boy, so Rainier didn't sleep with us, right? But in our room, there was a permanent resident of the room. I don't think she ever left that room, to be honest with her. And she spent the whole day on the phone to her boyfriend, which was somewhere. And this is a hostel, so it's like a prime place to meet people, but she just like was not interested. And then so we had like that. We had an interesting situation with Belarus, people from Belarusians. I don't know what to call people from Belarus. And you can go listen to that on our other other episode. But there was a beautiful fireplace in the room because they didn't have like heating, so they like lit the fire. And you could call, like you could be out in the town at like 4 o'clock and be like, oh, it's sunny setting at 4 in the afternoon. I don't know why. And you can be like, hi, Abdullah, can you please put the fire on in our room? And then you come home to a toasty bedroom. And that was like great. The bathroom situation was, again, only 2 bathrooms to cater for 6, 12. About 15 people. There was only 2 showers. And like, I'm very particular about how I want my bathroom to be. And now there was like a constant smell in this bathroom, like damp, just like wet. And I'm not a fan. So that's where nice smelling shampoo and nice smelling shower gel came in hand. And also there's this one man. So obviously you can't control like who uses what bathroom. And there was this one man, and I promise you had like a hair falling out problem, like alopecia. Because after he showered, there was just hair everywhere. And I think this is one of like my biggest no, so I just had to definitely make sure I was in the bathroom before he showered and get done. And then also the communal kitchen, it was a basic kitchen, was clean, but can only be clean for so long if people are making food at 3 a.m. in the morning, which is also on our videos, and it's hilarious. Also, my Instagrams, if you want to go check that out in our highlights. What did you think about the accommodation in Azerbaijan?
I think 8 out of 10. It was really good. Like, I didn't think there was really anything to complain about. I did expect, they said breakfast included, but it was ended up just being like rolls. But that's also fine. And I mean, for the price that we got for the friendly service,
I think we paid 80 rand a night.
yeah, for the clean, like it was clean, it was easy, like the accommodation was close to everything that we wanted to go to, so really there was nothing to complain about. I would say something going forward, always carry an extra towel, because the towels always seem to get wet. That's the one thing, or run out. That's the one thing that we never got, like new towels, and we were there for 2 weeks, and we kind of
we did.
Maybe once.
Yeah, I think maybe once.
But yeah, so I would definitely recommend getting a towel. But the thing is, I felt at home in that hostel after the second night. It was such a quick transition of like, this is my home. And as soon as we knew how to get to everything we needed to get to and how to get home, we were like, this is home. We felt, and that's just what made Azerbaijan such a good trip, is because we had a good home base.
I also find it difficult still to think how, I draw parallels between Azerbaijan and Paris in terms of the city layout, because it's literally built in a circle, and I hate it because it's built to confuse you. So
once you know how to get to some place and you just...
Nah, dude, I'm still confused.
It was not that difficult. I don't know how you're still... I can literally, in my head, you get out at the front door, you turn left, you turn right, you walk
right, and you go down.
You turn left and right again, and then you're there.
Yes, I know that. But first day, we come out of the door, we turn right, we walk for 4 kilometers, and we get to the same place. How is that possible?
I don't know how that was possible, because we were... That was... I get you. Next up, after Azerbaijan, we went to...
Tanzania. Ooh, very different situation.
Completely different situation. In Tanzania, in the village in Mangula, we stayed in also a hotel. And in this hotel, we both had different rooms. So our room's layout was literally, it was a big, massive room with a bed, like a teddy and a TV, and then a bathroom with no toilet. I'm going to say
no.
I'm going to say
the bathroom had a toilet.
The bathroom had a toilet, but not the toilet that I'm used to. It had a, what is it called? A drop.
A long drop.
Yeah.
Not even a long drop. Like, it had a flushing system. It was just one of those flat bed toilets. It wasn't like a seat.
But
toilet.
The thing is, we specifically were told that we would get regular Western, I say Western, but regular toilets. And we didn't, and we couldn't complain about it. We just had to live with it. Like,
there was nowhere to go.
There was
nowhere to get a normal toilet.
But anyway, so that was where we actually slept. But where I feel when I think of Mangula and home, I think of Mama and Baba's house. We didn't sleep there, but we had 3 meals a day there every day. We spent 90% of our time at their houses. We chilled in their living rooms. We, made supper outside, made supper in their kitchen. I went to their bathroom once, so we were in the dining room every night, every day actually. So for me, when I think of Mangula, when I think of home and traveling, Mangula has the softest spot in my heart, just because I really realized what it meant when people say, "You're welcome here. Come to my space. Like, come inside, come eat my food." Like, it never felt like I was a burden. I never felt like, yeah, they again. It felt genuinely like Mama was like, here's my children. My children have come home. I need to feed them. I need to give them love. I need to listen to them. I need to talk to them. I need to check up on them. I don't think I've ever felt that amount of that amount of love from someone who literally met me
a minute ago.
I've never felt that sense of home from someone that had literally didn't even know me from a bar of soap before I rocked up at her house.
When I think of like home in Mangula, the picture that comes to mind is like a woven mat on the floor outside on the outside kitchen, and me sitting there with my brother and the mapachas, and mama just like shaving away coconuts. Like that is home. Like that's the image that comes to mind, is definitely like the outside kitchen, and how this lady who has never met us before spend hours preparing our meals. Like that's her whole day. She doesn't have time for herself because she's so busy sorting us out, And I love another like image that comes to mind is that the fact that you go into like the little dining area, and on the right hand side in the corner there's a little bucket, some water and whatever, and then the youngest person in the family would then pick up this bucket and like water and just like wash your hand. Well, it throws water over your hands. You need to wash it before you can sit at the table. Don't you dare touch the seat without washing your hands, which Corona also. But like, how amazing, like stuff like that, it's gestures like that, that's incredible. And also the fact that they were watching like Isidingo for like generations after supper every night, which is like hilarious to me, because who's watching South African TV in a different country? I love that. Absolutely love that. That's such a nice memory, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. And then afterwards, we went to Dar es Salaam as well as Zanzibar. I don't think we should talk about Dar es Salaam because it was like one night.
Yeah. And with Dar es Salaam and with Zanzibar, we were in one big room, 2-3 beds, and then we shared a bathroom, all three of us. And I think in those moments, what I remember, and when I think about home in that sense, I just think about how much we need to rely on one another, or how much we did rely on one another, and how much we had to check up on one another, and also respect boundaries. It taught me a lot about how we all want different things in a family setting, and it's okay to want different things, and to because like your brother wanted to watch TV at one part, another part like I wanted to sleep, another part you wanted to, we all had our own things, but we were all staying under one roof. And it was just, I liked that togetherness, but everyone's doing their own thing at the same time.
I just remember the night we came. I went to Dar es Salaam and we showered, and you and Ibrahim still wanted to go talk or explore, and I just went to bed and I fell asleep immediately.
So we're like, okay. We just went to bed.
Oh my gosh, this is so funny. And like again, I find that hilarious.
Yeah, that whole sense of we're all in it, or we're all out of it, or we're like, if one is in it, I don't know. I don't know how to explain.
But also at the same time, like if my brother stayed at home the one day and we went out alone, like it's definitely okay. It's not like we're angry with anyone. We just needed a break. Yeah. And talking about breaks, we're gonna go to the next one, which is Mozambique, where you really needed a break. You really needed a break, and like the housing situation there was again like a hotel, but like a standard hotel. We had an extra bed again. We were lucky. We were very lucky in the senses of having like extra room. And not having other people that we don't know in our bubble. So, and I'm just going to disclaim that it's not that we're excluding anyone. Like we didn't say like, no, you need to leave. So we did that. So that was like cool, and like that was a standard room. We never spent a lot of time there. We just were in and out kind of a thing. I'm really very sleepy at the moment. Like I'm getting like, woo.
Okay, we're almost done. After that, we went to Amsterdam. We shared a room.
The most incredible staying, the most luxurious staying situation.
So luxurious.
Anything you could think of was a bathroom away, already in your room, and you just had to get up and open.
And the bathroom was so pretty. The buffet downstairs was 10 out of 10.
Like you should definitely watch our videos. Like you want to get like a kind of a feel. Like definitely. Like
Amsterdam was a good trip. And
Amsterdam was phenomenal.
Yeah, and then Rotterdam, we were in the cube
We lived in the
houses.
cube houses.
Maybe
So that was cool.
that experience was cool and amazing. But also made me realize like how sometimes cool things can be very impractical. Because when I think of like, not necessarily our room, because our room was very big, but like the boys' room was so tiny and like they could hardly stand up because the cube was like over their heads.
No, but like they say, you can only use the usable space in the cube house is a third of the cube house.
So it's so interesting, but you're like, this is not, because I kept thinking, like, imagine we've stayed here for a month. Like, no, right? No. That's you. There's no, you kind of silence because you're like, what? Because it just doesn't. Also, the fact that the cube houses had so many unnecessary rules. You couldn't eat in the room. You couldn't drink in the room. You couldn't bring outside food in the room. You could literally, all you had to do was sleep in the room. There wasn't a TV. There wasn't even a piece of artwork.
Kettle.
There wasn't a kitchen.
There was nothing.
Nothing. So it's like the bare necessities, which is a bed, a shower, and a toilet. That's all you need when you go there. There was
even the shower toilet setup was weird. Huh?
I said there wasn't closet space, but there was a closet.
There was a shelf. It was a rack shelf.
And then after that, we went to Paris.
Yeah, we went to Paris. We had two different staying situations again. Parisian hotel experiences are interesting because there is a space problem in Paris, I feel like. Like, there's definitely an overcrowding space problem. And I watched Emily in Paris the other day. And she's sitting in this lift, and the lift is literally like the width of her body. And I'm like, that is an accurate description.
Accurate.
Because the buildings are so old that sometimes they can't always like cater for a lift. So you have to walk up like 5 flights of stairs or whatever. So our first room was massive, humongous.
In Paris terms, that was humongous. Like,
there was like
it was genuine.
An apartment
as well. Like, it was big.
Yeah.
It was great.
Huge. Like the whole family could fit in. We had your dad's birthday in it. Like, these are such nice memories. And these are like from this year. And like, there's something good in 2020. Like, I woke up on the 1st of Jan in Paris. Like, come on. Like, you know, so we had your dad's birthday then. We were all comfortably like spread out in the room, which is nice. Like, there was like definitely space for that, and we were lucky, very lucky. It was also very neat, and the staff were nice and all of that stuff. And the like Parisian croissants, like I know they're known for that.
Pain au chocolat.
Pain au chocolat. I would give my left kidney for like that again.
The buffet, just to go back for that buffet.
No, just buttered croissants. Like, honestly, so good. That's honestly did.
Yeah. And then the second place we stayed in was more of a house set.
It was like a shared living.
Airbnb, but it was like in a house, shared living. And that was just great. I loved that. That was so cool to experience living in a Paris house. Home. Because all the people...
But also the man was a bit scary.
Yes. He was...
But French people are scary. Yeah, French people are scary, 100%. And he was nice. He also had a bit of like rules, I think. But we also had a massive room. Like all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All 5 of us stayed in that one room.
Yeah. No. The 4 did. My mom and I stayed in the other room, which was also a massive room.
It was so cool.
But the lucky
situation is
the lifts were tiny. I have a video of me standing in the lift and I'm like, no one else can fit in there because it's so
the tiny. Only thing that can fit in there is literally you and your suitcase.
Yeah.
If that. And you kind of have to sit on your suitcase. I learned
is that if I ever go to Europe again, I'm backpack or nothing.
But then I think the key with that is,
straight up.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, the key with that is don't go in winter. Like, then it's easy.
So true. Yeah.
Like I had like 2 coats with me.
Exactly.
Stuck in my brother's bag. Like my brother wore all of his clothes every day. He just like changed the layers.
It was so cold. It was insane.
I think it's because we've like experienced
layers on Ibrahim.
Yeah, like we've experienced colder like I definitely couldn't feel my body in Azerbaijan. I was so cold.
True. I think if you went to Azerbaijan with us, I don't know if he would have.
But it was a different type of cold. I think it's a different type of cold.
True.
So like one cold is like, oh, my nose, my face is so cold, I can't feel my nose. And the other thing is like, my bones are cold. Dip me in boiling water, please, man. You know? So like, I think it's very interesting. I think it's going to be interesting to like see how our definitions of like home is going to unfold as we grow older and maybe get our own homes with our own people or by ourselves, whatever. Like, I think it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, I agree with you. And making your own home is such a different thing as well. Because as we grow older, we choose things from the different homes that we've enjoyed. We choose things from our parents' home that we like. We choose things from like our friends' homes that we like. And we're like, that's what I want my future home to be.
And like not even, I don't think you mean like material things only.
No, I mean like the way you make your home a home. The way you like, I mean, is your house general? I'm not saying your house. I'm not saying my house, but might be like, because your parents might be someone who loves, like, okay, let's be realistic. Like my house, my mom loves kettles and she loves, you know, not
kettles.
She loves teacups and tea sets, right? And so she has tons of that. But I mean, I might not, I'm getting a dog. I might not have, you know, want my house to be full of teacups or tea kettles. You know, I know that's a silly idea, but you know what I mean? It's not about the material. It's just the way we build our homes. Also the way we say things or do things in our homes. And because I also think it's like experiences in our homes, over the years of our travels, will also impact our homes when we grow older.
I also think it's like interesting because I was telling a friend that was here yesterday. I was telling her how I never brought anyone home in high school. Like there's some friends I was friends with for 5 years that don't know where I live. But now my house is like the house that people come to when they don't know where to go. Even if I'm not here, my friends are here. Like they're like, hey, chilling with your mom when you come in.
It's such a nice space that your family has created.
Yeah, I don't think it was intentional because again, like it was never like that. It was never like that. Like I never liked bringing people home. And I think it's going to be interesting, like going forward, like what home is, and also like where our possibly next destination would be, and where would we live? Like where would we live? What are we looking for now if we're booking a place? Because ever since Azerbaijan, I never would have lived in a hostel, and then we were going to go to when we fake plan our trip, which can be our next topic we wanted to be. But like when we plan a trip, like now we're not opposed to the idea of a hostel. Now we like go check on hostelworld.com or whatever.
And we've always been very open in general with where we want to say. We've never been like, no, I have to be at a hotel. No, I have to be in an Airbnb. We've always been like,
it has to be 4 stars or above.
It just has to be clean, and the reviews have to be really good reviews. I think that's what really matters to us, is if the reviews are good. Because if there's multiple good reviews, and you know it's good reviews on multiple sites, not just Hostelworld, but Hostelworld and
Booking.com.
Really being attacked by my dog today. Then you know, okay, this is a place that I can consider, and that's how we've chosen all of our places. Like we really take time to find the best places for us, which has the best reviews and the best bang for the buck. And we always say, try to find a place that
breakfast included. I knew you were going to say that.
So
so that was a good chat. I really enjoyed it. How do you define home? If you are still watching, if you made it this far, congratulations. If you are this far, also please don't forget to subscribe. I know I'm saying at the beginning, I'm saying at the end. I hope you enjoyed that, and we shall see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching as always, and goodbye.
Bye.